This is the NBA on NBC.
We welcome you to the game of the week. First of two on tap here on NBC today. The Seattle Sonics paying a visit to the Los Angeles Lakers. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Great Western Forum in Inglewood. I'm Greg Gumbel. From here on to the postseason, it's all about positioning. And this game, well, it has a lot for both teams at stake. In the Western Conference, the Lakers lead the way with a 37-13 mark. The defending Western Conference champions, Seattle, are running third at this point at 34-15. I am joined, as usual, by Steve Jones and Bill Walton. Of course, no Shawn Kemp today. He's suspended. No Shaquille O'Neal. He's been injured. That means that the focus is now going to move to the outside, and I would think that Laker coach Del Harris is going to look very hard, strong, and long to Nick Van Exel.
Greg, Nick has been very reluctant to take that leadership role. Shaq has been that guy, but the commitment now to the fast break offense here suits Nick Van Exel to a T. The last 5 games, he has been on fire. The hoop just seems as big as the Pacific Ocean. Nick Van Exel leading that offensive surge. And with this head-to-head matchup with Gary Payton, you've got two cocky, confident guys that love to go at it, talk a lot of trash. Look for Nick Van Exel to be huge today. He's on fire, Greg.
You refer to what should be a terrific matchup at the point guard position. The glove for the Seattle Supersonics. Last time these two guys met, Steve, they each scored 25 points.
Yeah, the glove has got a little glow to it right now in both ends of the floor. But when you say Lakers, there's a special script, and Gary Payton seems to follow, almost averaging 25 a game against the Lakers. He feels that in an open court game, he's going to be the dominant force out there, and he's also got that snatching glove to shut down anybody opposing him.
All right, Payton and Van Exel, the Sonics and the Los Angeles Lakers. We'll be back to the Great Western Forum with the starting lineups and the opening tip in just a moment as they arrive. In case you're wondering what you're tuned to,
you're watching the NBA on NBC.
After a hard day, how many times has this happened to you? Now there's Can Caddy, the new drink holder made especially for your favorite bathroom beverage.
Can Caddy.
Can Caddy's fun, easy to use, and it sticks to almost any surface.
Can Caddy.
No more running to the fridge for a replacement.
Can Caddy.
Can Caddy goes anywhere you go, and it comes in 4 designer colors. Can Caddy makes a great gift, not available anywhere.
Can Caddy.
back on the West Coast to tip off the first of two here on NBC today. Here are the starting lineups for the visiting Seattle Sonics. Detlef Schrempf and Larry Stewart replacing the suspended Shawn Kemp up front. Jim McIlvaine in the middle. Gary Payton and Hersey Hawkins in the backboard. Ori, Travis Knight, Eldon Campbell, Nick Van Exel, and Eddie Jones for the Los Angeles Lakers. The head coach for the Seattle Sonics, George Karl, in his 5th full season as the head man of the Sonics. And for the Los Angeles Lakers, it is Del Harris, 12 years an NBA coach. This is his 3rd as the head man of the Lakers. And, you know, the first reaction that you have is, well, you're missing 2 big guys in the middle. Does that mean it's going to be a faster, quicker game?
It's going to be up and down. The Lakers have become one of the highest scoring, most potent offensive teams in the league. Their big concern, though, for the Los Angeles is to deny penetration to Payton, control him in the low box, and keep their turnovers down.
Turnovers are the key because that's where the Sonics make their opponents pay, particularly in an up-tempo game. If they can force you to make mistakes, they're going to get layups.
Lakers have been riding a hot streak. They have won 3 straight, 9 out of 10, 18 of their last 22. And George Karl has made a last-second decision to start Sam Perkins instead of Larry Stewart. So Perkins in the starting lineup now for the Sonics, who get the opening tap.
Greg, one of the real keys for Seattle is going to be to find somebody who's willing to play that physical, violent, bang-up game down low that Shawn Kemp loves.
Well, before he went to Seattle as a Laker, Sam Perkins did a lot of that. He's got a rookie in Travis Knight guarding him. This will be a tough test for Knight, and they got to see if they're going to wear that matchup out.
Lakers have won 8 of their last 11 games against the Sonics, have had their number. Van Exel on the move. The floater doesn't go.
Nice tip by Ori. Keep it alive. Does so many little things.
Batted away by McIlvaine, and the Sonics make the steal. On the run, Detlef Schrempf for 2.
Now that's the strength of the Sonics. A turnover and a quick conversion, and if you're going to play against them, you've got to take care of the basketball.
quick 4-0 lead for the Sonics. And Van Exel goes down to Eldon Campbell. And Sam's Eldon turnaround is short, and the whistle blows, and that'll be a loose ball foul.
Deadlift Shrimp in transition. The Sonics love to poke it away, the quickness of the guards, and then Payton up the court. Deadlift Shrimp playing with a heavily bandaged left hand. He broke that hand just before the All-Star break against Utah, and it's been causing him a lot of trouble. Broken left hand for Deadlift Shrimp.
Payton on the long-range miss, and back come the Lakers, who are still looking for their first points of the day. Batted away from Knight, out of bounds to the Lakers.
They will try to open up the middle a little bit more, but obviously they're still going to try to center their inside game around Eldon Campbell. And Eldon Campbell, he's got to stay out of foul trouble, and he's got to deliver some points down in the low bottom.
Eddie Jones finds Knight on the baseline. Travis Knight, the 7-foot rookie out of the University of Connecticut. Deadlift Shrimp back, comes up short.
Robert Horry, terrific defense.
Van Exel down the lane to the left hook.
Lakers, one of the few teams in the NBA, Greg, that's really made that commitment to, hey, let's just outrun our guys for 48 full minutes. And they become a true fast-breaking team.
Payton to Perkins, and Perkins into the middle draws the foul.
The easiest way to score is to move without the basketball. Travis Knight's strength is moving without the ball. You got to pressure the passer, and if you don't, you get scored on. And if you don't stop the basketball, Nick Van Exel's going to dance.
But Nick able to make some of those incredible shots just look routine and easy. Sam Perkins in the starting lineup. George Karl facing a huge quandary. Who to come in with. Karl told us before the game that he likes Perkins because of the matchup with Knight, and then when Rooks and Klein come in later for the Lakers, then he can come with Terry Cummings to play that physical game against the Bangers for LA.
Perkins gets 1 out of 2. The Sonics with a 5-4 lead. 9:50 to play. We're just underway here in the first quarter in Inglewood, California. Eddie Jones on the move, and McIlvain came over to get a piece of that one. Shrimp leads the way back. Dishes for Hawkins, who loses it. Lakers on the run. Eddie Jones. And a blocking foul, and the basket will count.
This is a real tough call against McIlvain, but when you're 7 feet tall and are built like a tree, you don't want to be out there taking charges. You want to get in the air and block some shots. He's just playing like he's a 6'2" man rather than assuming the defensive posture of a great rejecter.
Well, Eddie Jones had the last one knocked away by McIlvain and was coming strong, and I think McIlvain didn't like the angle. Then he comes right back, runs over Eddie Jones. So any value that they might get out of McIlvain is going to be taken away right now because he's in foul trouble early in the ball game.
And Terry Cummings comes off the bench and will replace McIlvain, who leaves with 2 personals, and we still have 9.5 to play here in the first.
It was great to see Terry Cummings bringing his kids to the game today. They live here in the Southern California area. One in high school, one just in grade school. Terrific basketball players themselves.
Terry Cummings signed on January the 13th. Here's Eldon Campbell working on Cummings inside.
That's going to be a tough matchup for Terry Cummings. Even though he is not as quick as he once was, banging and bumping really suits Eldon Campbell fairly well. He'll roll off of that.
Hawkins to the baseline, connects.
To me, this is the missing link of the Sonics attack. Hersey Hawkins. When he plays well, they win easily. When he doesn't, they struggle. He's also going to have a big afternoon.
On the drive, the scoop no good by Jones, picked off by Cummings.
Perkins with a great box out that time on Travis Knight.
Down low shot, no good, tapped up. Loose ball picked off by the Lakers. Horry outlets for Jones. Jones goes past Payton and can't get it to fall.
Oh, Payton reached out and grabbed Eddie Jones. Fans here can't believe that's not a foul.
Shrimp for Cummings, who can't get it to go.
Now, both teams are going to have to finish because there's not a lot of shot blocking at either end, and you're able to get inside.
The Lakers lead the league in block shots per game, and very tall front line right now causing intimidation and misses rather than actually getting the blocks.
Trent back outside. Payton sizes up a 3. And Cummings and Eldon Campbell playing a little tag team down low.
I think the Lakers need to get Eldon Campbell more involved. That's the type of game he needs.
And just like that, Eldon Campbell gets a chance for a 3-point play. Nice feed from Eddie Jones.
Yesterday in practice, the Lakers worked on keeping the middle open and then finding somebody cutting to the basket. Eldon Campbell comes off the wing and with authority, able to hold the ball with 2 hands, get it to go off the glass, a chance for a 3-point play.
Foul was on Terry Cummings, his first.
The secret to strong ball games from Eldon Campbell is a great start. He's got it. 6 points here early, 5 points here early in the ball game.
And he told me yesterday that playing with Shaq, that Eldon never got his number called till very late in the game. But now that Shaq's out for a real long time, look for Eldon to continue this huge tear that he's on.
What a nice feed for Schrempf by Gary Payton. 12-9, Lakers by 3.
We got to get this video and send it to the Eastern Conference. You know, we're playing basketball today.
I think the whole league is up in scoring, Steve, over the last 3 weeks to a month. I think the pace has picked up.
Are you including the All-Star game, Bill?
Absolutely, and I'm excluding Cleveland.
Schrempf for Payton. Hawkins has a man on his back, and he'll go to the line. That man is Eddie Jones. And we'll take time with 6:57 to play here in the first. Shaquille O'Neal. We'll hear from him when we come back to the Forum in a moment.
Cozy, huh? What? Whoa. Bedroom? No way. Security?
Close to transportation.
Classic fixtures. Ooh, what do we have here? Bud Light. Go ahead. It's got your name on it. I'll get my own.
I'll take it. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
That was close. I was down on my last one.
I started out playing piano and somehow wound up here, high above Madison Square Garden. I watch the action and I try to anticipate because once the moment's gone, it's gone for good. I think basketball is a very musical game. There's a certain flow to it, so it's a perfect match of 2 of my passions. And maybe it's not what my piano teacher had in mind, but I'm lucky enough to have a great view of a great game, and I just can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing than that.
Just under 7 to play in the first quarter. Welcome back. Lakers with a 3-point lead on Seattle. Shaquille O'Neal lost for just about the rest of the regular season. And just what are the Lakers missing? The 5th man in points, number 4 in rebounds and blocks, and the 3rd in field goal percentage. He's standing by with Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Greg Gumbel. I'm joined by Shaquille O'Neal. Had this full, almost down to his ankle, all the way up to his hip cast. Put him on Thursday. Shaq, how difficult mentally and physically has this week been for you?
It's very difficult, but I have a lot of people behind me. I talked to Jerry West. He gave me words of encouragement. I talked to Magic Johnson. He did the same thing. Most of all, I talked to the Sarge. Hey, Daddy, how you doing?
Now you finally talked to your teammates as well. You came in and addressed them before the game. What did you say to them, and how can you keep them encouraged in your absence?
I just told them to hold the fort down until I get back. We still have a good team. I know, Travis Knight is going to go in and do a real good job. Sean Lucas is going to back him up, and Corey Bryant is going to back him up. And they're going to do fine.
Have the doctors told you, since you're not aware, this is the first real catastrophic injury that you've had, have the doctors told you just how difficult this rehabilitation will be? And is it possible that you might miss the entire season?
They said that it's going to take 7 to 8 weeks. Hopefully it doesn't take me that long.
How about the rest of the season? Are you concerned that if it doesn't go well, that you will be out through the playoffs?
I'm going to just take one day at a time, and I will be back in the playoffs.
Shaq, your mental frame of mind and your spirit. You're always an uplifted guy, always a guy that has a big smile. Hard for you to do that right now?
I'm always remain uplifted because of the people that I have around me. My mother, my daughter, Jim here, you.
That's all it takes, huh?
Yep, that's all it takes.
Good to see your smile, Shaq. We'll check back with you a bit later on throughout the game. All right, Greg, let's send it back out to you.
Funny thing, Shaq, Jim Gray uplifts us all here, too. You know, Bill, I know of no one better to ask this question of than you. What kind of an attitude do you take through an injury like this where you might have some serious doubts about the way you can do?
One of huge depression, Greg. I missed more games in the history of basketball than anybody, 9.5 full seasons. And you feel horrible because it's like you let your team down. Even though there's nothing you can do about it personally, everything changes, your relationship with your teammates, the fans. It's a horrible time. We just hope Shaq can battle his way through it and get right back with the support and love of his family and friends.
We heard Shaq say that, you know, he's giving words of encouragement to his teammates. I'm sure that he can use the same thing in return from them.
And it's so hard the very first time coming in there and facing him because of that sense that you're not going to be there for them.
Eddie Jones. And there's a loose ball foul on Travis Knight. We have 5:20 to play here in the first quarter, and the Lakers with a 2-point lead at 15-13. That's the second personal on Knight.
And Greg, also, athletes train themselves to be invincible, to think that nothing can slow them down. And all of a sudden, here's Shaq with one of the magnificent bodies in the history of the game. All of a sudden, it's broken for really the first time, and that puts a seed of doubt in your mind.
Knight has gone to the Laker bench, replaced by Jerome Kersey, the 13-year veteran. Shrimp with turnaround. That left shrimp.
If that left hand is bothering him, we don't know it. 8 here in the first quarter, but he's been very aggressive at the offensive end, and both teams have been attacking the basket. Shrimp the leading scorer.
One thing, though, the Lakers are not double-teaming Seattle down low. They're staying at home, playing one-on-one in the post defensively.
Percy Hawkins open for a three. And nothing but Lakers there, saved by Ori. Up ahead for Eddie Jones, on his way to the basket again.
Seattle conceding the offensive boards, dropping back, and still getting beat on the fast break. Not a good sign for George Karl.
Payton inside to the left hand. This is a puzzling Seattle team at best. At best. Even George Karl is hard-pressed to figure them out on occasion.
But I think the problem is more mental than physical. This team has always had a cloud of doubt around it. And this year, the cloud has reemerged. It started with Sean Kemp, a concern about the contract at the start of the season, and it's carried over.
The edge just doesn't seem to be there right now for Seattle. With some players, it is. Others sort of content with the fact that, hey, we made it to the finals last year. We'll just turn it on in the playoffs. That's a very difficult thing to do.
Tied at 19 as we come up on 3.5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Payton on Van Exel. The pick from Kersey, and back for Kersey now. Spins once. Shot off the mark, and a whistle blows, and a foul is called. Let's go back to that Laker break.
Well, the key is passing the ball ahead, and that's what we have seen both teams do. You got a player that's as elastic and explosive as Eddie Jones. Good things happen for you. Van Exel, no pressure on him. Robert Horry with a deuce.
Ori does so many things well for this team. Talking to him yesterday about how he's feeling, he said that usually, Bill, I'm really banged up by this point of the season, but over in Phoenix, I didn't play at all, didn't do anything, so now those knees in the back are feeling pretty good for Robert Horry.
Did he call you Bill? He didn't say big guy or redhead or anything like that? Van Exel.
I don't think he even knows my name.
Let's see.
Where the Lakers are really getting the edge of the Sonics is on the offensive glass. They're getting 2-3 cracks at it. There doesn't seem to be a dominant rebounder out there without Sean Kemp available for them, so they're not getting anybody to grab the ball.
We have a timeout on the floor with 3:08 to play in the first. 19-19 is our score. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
I think everyone in the arena thought he was going to pass.
My uncles played ball. My father played ball. Basketball is in my blood. I'm still a leader in my own small way.
Oh, I'm the king. Oh, I'm the king.
Make no mistake, you are the king, and the king lives in the castle, and his word is law.
Don't expect too much from yourself, Michael. Psst. start on varsity.
You can't play at the level of North Carolina. Be realistic.
Forget the team. Think of yourself. Why go back to basketball? You'll embarrass yourself.
Had enough?
Just getting started.
One of the 7 jerseys retired and hanging here in the Forum belongs to Urban Magic Johnson, and there is Buck sitting over there, Diane Cannon.
Magic was the first one in the building this morning. He was playing 2-on-2 with Kurt Rambis and a couple of young kids here. And I asked him right off the bat, now that Shaq is out, Magic, are you coming back? And he said, well, go ahead and start that today, Bill, but I don't really think so.
He got dusted by Donald Myers' son. What are you talking about? Comeback. I mean, it was a little clinic, and a little 8-year-old did the goods on him, huh? You take a look at this. He's got dancing around him and everything, and you're telling me he's coming back?
Look at that pass. Nothing to it.
Nice defense, Magic. Just gets burned by the little point guard on the penetration.
Coming up on 2:45 to play here in the first. Whistle blows an illegal defense call. The officials for this afternoon's game, Derek Stafford, Dan Crawford, and Mark Wunderlich, as you look at George Karl, who has to send his troops to battle without Sean Kemp today.
First illegal defense of the ball game, but I'm sure we're going to see many to come as both coaches like to try to slide down and give help.
Eddie Jones on the cut, doesn't get it to fall. Get a little idea of Eddie Jones's quickness there to the baseline.
Beautiful two-man basketball, Greg. They dump it into the post, and then Eddie will run his man right into Orion. Orion waited just one more second and dumped it back over his shoulder with the no look. Eddie would have had a little bit better angle, but Seattle's done a terrific job of slowing the Lakers fast break down a little bit. Lakers have been averaging 34 points a game over the last, in the first quarter alone, over the last 7 or 8 games. So, and in only 20 right now. Good defense by Seattle.
21-19 Laker lead, coming up on 2.5 to play for the first quarter. Nate McMillan on the floor for the Seattle Sonics.
They believe that the loss of Nate McMillan has hurt them a great deal. This is Nate McMillan's team in terms of being the inspirational leader, and with him back out on the floor, another calming influence, Sam Perkins down on the low box.
Only his 9th game this year has had problems with a groin muscle. And Nate says he's back and he's cautious. He doesn't want to overextend himself.
You know, with groin, you never know when they're right, and they just require rest, and you can pull them very quickly. Basketball, an explosive stop-start game, so you know he's going to tiptoe around, and he can't play that way.
Nate saying before the game his biggest fear is when he is tired. Ori, three-pointer, no good. Jones looks like he was held and fouled, and he will get the call.
Greg, Gary Payton off the ball defensively on Nick Van Exel has been marvelous today. Really playing a focused game. He's not leaving Van Exel, not trying to play the team defense as much as just trying to shut Van Exel down, and he's done it.
Well, they better start shutting this guy down. He's got 7, working on 9 if he gets his free throw, but Eddie Jones is showing that if you move without the basketball, the game becomes very easy for you. If you run the floor, it's easy to score the ball, and he's a thin guy, but he hasn't been beat up and fighting a lot of traffic against a very good defensive team in Seattle.
No steals yet today for the NBA leader in steals. Eddie Jones comes in averaging just over 2.5 steals a game. Whistle on the far side of the court.
I don't know about that call, Greg, because the Lakers came with a trap. Kersey at half court. You go into a zone trap with what the Lakers utilize here to up the tempo. That takes the illegal defense out of the game.
Kobe Bryant comes in, replaces Eddie Jones. They're almost the same build and almost the same kind of player, both from Philadelphia, and this is a chance for Kobe Bryant to shine.
Well, Gary Payton goes right at him, into the lane, puts it up, and comes up short. Cummings with the rebound. And back to the basket, came up short on a stuff attempt, has it back and kicks it outside to Wingate.
It was the Charles Smith self-check from the Knicks.
No, that was old age. That's
I wouldn't know what that is, Steve.
McMillan doesn't get it to go, and Cummings is fouled on the inside.
When he was young and you played with him in San Diego, that was an automatic throwdown. But now the years and Father Time has caught up with him. He's playing below the rim, so he needs to use the glass.
Cummings goes to the line to shoot 2. Has played in San Diego, Milwaukee, San Antonio, Milwaukee again, and was the NBA Rookie of the Year back in 1983. I've known Terry Cummings since his high school days in Chicago. What a fine person. And in his heyday, he was a horse.
I played with him on that San Diego team when he was Rookie of the Year and averaged 25 points a game. It was just an awesome offensive machine. Outplayed, of course, his rookie competitors, James Worthy and Dominique Wilkins, that year.
Last minute of play here in the first quarter. Lakers swinging around, Ori to the far side, and comes up shooting. At the bucket and the foul.
You know it's your day when you're jacking up jackknife jump shots, which aren't normally your shot anyway, and they're falling. Robert Horry is not a good jump shooter on the move, but he jacks this one up, gets his arm hit, big kick, and a finish.
That was a bank from the corner.
Second personal on Nate McMillan. Ori completes the three-point play. 26-23 Lakers. Last 45 seconds of the first quarter.
You know, and the guys that we thought might be torching each other, Van Exel and Payton, they've only gotten 2 points apiece so far.
McMillan's long-range shot doesn't go. Kobe Bryant with the rebound.
Seattle has not played well, and they're right there.
Van Exel. And Ori lost it out of bounds.
Offense to defense, or Hersey Hawkins quickly going to come in the game. McIlvaine will go down. 24.6 left, so the Sonics will basically hold for the last shot of the quarter.
Something we'll keep an eye on. Gary Payton has initiated a little conversation with one of the fans just behind us and off to our left. Last time down, Gary said something to the equivalent of, "Just watch me."
But Gary has toned down that part of his game a lot, and I think it's helped his overall production.
3 seconds. Terry Cummings wide open, can't get it to fall. Rooks has the rebound, and that'll do it for the end of the first quarter. Standout performers for each side. Eddie Jones with 9 points. And Detlef Schrempf on 4 of 5 from the floor has 8. We've played 1 at the Great Western Forum, and it's the Lakers by 3 at 26-23. We'll come back for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. In the meantime, you're watching the NBA on NBC.
You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Eldon Campbell being called on to fill the big shoes in the middle of the Laker lineup of Shaquille O'Neal. We talked to Coach Del Harris and asked him his outlook on that last night.
I remember seeing Phantom of the Opera, and they said, well, Michael Carver's not going to be in it. Well, to me, it didn't make any difference. I mean, whoever the fellow was, I just don't know his name now. But he was, I mean, how could Michael Carver have been any better than this fellow? I mean, he was wonderful. And I think this is the thing that you look at with Shaq, I mean, and Eldon. You may not, you know, people go around the country and they know what Shaq bars are and this, they don't have any Eldon bars. But Eldon is a very good player. And he will fill in and do well. Well, I think if they think I think that, and it has worked for us, I think that that's confidence enough.
Del Harris, and you cannot accuse Del Harris of having a bad attitude about it.
The problem, though, Greg, is that in basketball, there is no script. You got to come out and establish it. You got to write it every day.
No script? You've never seen the Washington Generals play?
Well, both teams right now making changes and a little bit more defensive minded. This means Payton and Green is going to have to pick up at the offensive end because he's in with McMillan, Wingate, and McIlvain, Terry Cummings. And for the Lakers, Kobe Bryant should be busting out in the second quarter.
Cummings with the shot clock at 6 with the turnaround, and Cummings got it. Terry Cummings makes it a 26-25 Laker lead.
This is where Horry is so valuable as Payton is denying Van Exel the advance of the ball. Horry can step up and lose the ball.
Big steal by Nate McMillan.
It's painful to watch Nate run. Remember in the finals last year, Steve, he basically had to sit it out in street clothes and really hurt Seattle's chances.
Payton goes right at Van Exel. Top of the key, Wingate open, too strong.
Sonics are doing a good job of moving the ball, but they're ending up with the wrong guys shooting it, and they're not very efficient here at the top of the second quarter. Wingate.
Wingate puts Kersey on his backside, and meanwhile McIlvain hits the open shot.
Seattle is much better when they're getting to the basket here as opposed to just firing from outside initially.
Oh, God. That'll be a loose ball foul on Rooks. And mass substitutions coming in, but before that, we'll take this break. 9:47 to play here in the first half.
Michael and the Bulls host Penny and the Magic, coming up next on NBC.
As we come back, we'll take this opportunity to remind you, Asteroid, NBC's movie event of February, airs tonight. You can play the game right now, live, online. Asteroid Impact. Check it out at www.nbc.com. 9:47 to play, first half. Greg Gumbel, Steve Jones, Bill Walton, Jim Gray from the Great Western Forum. 27-26, Seattle in the lead.
And Greg, the game has an erratic flow to it right now. The great playmaking guards from both teams nullifying each other's games. 2 points apiece, Payton and Van Exel.
Scoring becomes a premium in a game that has this much open space in it. You've got to get the right guy shooting the ball. The hot shooter in the first quarter, Detlef Schrempf, goaltend.
Campbell the guilty party, and the Sonics build their lead now to 29-26.
And Greg, that's one of the real liabilities that Kobe Bryant has right now. You try to guard Detlef Schrempf, who's a full 6'10". Kobe is 6'5" and just 18 years old. There's no contest down in the paint physically.
McIlvain bellies up with 3 personals on him. Campbell gets his own rebound in the lane, puts it up, and he doesn't get it to fall, but he'll go to the line.
Nate McMillan on the reach in, but Eldon Campbell almost got the third foul on McIlvain, who had left his feet, and they had a scrum down below. And Campbell fortunately got the ball and now will go to the line.
Instead, it's McMillan who draws his third personal.
Early, big, strong rebounding for Eldon Campbell, leading the way for the Lakers. He's got 6.
But now he's back to being the focal point and so much more comfortable. He was feeling out of place as a role player as Shaq moved in. Last year when they had Vlade as the center, Vlade played the perimeter and everything was revolving around Eldon inside, but he's had a very difficult time.
Sonics lead it by 2 with 8:50 to play in the first half. This is McMillan. And Wingate.
Shot clock at 6, so that means they're going to get a tough shot from Wingate.
Wingate on the move. Oh, almost fell. And Wingate with a nice rebound sitting on the floor. Wingate again, and then kicks it back outside. McMillan for 3.
McMillan, such the spiritual leader of this squad. Just gives them so much confidence. A versatile role player that brings a lot of everything. Offensive foul, out of control, Kobe Bryant.
That three-pointer by McMillan, the first of the day for the Sonics, who are now 1 for 7 from behind the line.
Well, Kobe Bryant goes out of the ball game. Dale Harris told us yesterday it's pay as you go. He didn't pay very much, so he didn't get to stay very long. But in this game, he should be able to have some sort of an impact. And if he would just catch it, take a look at the basket, see where his defender is, he can probably get himself started at the offensive end.
And Kobe's saying that's one of the things that's a little bit frustrating to him as Terry Cummings brings it inside and the whistle blows. That he comes to the arena and never really knows how many minutes he's going to play.
As you go up every level, Greg, from high school to college to the NBA, Kobe, of course, skipped the college part. It's such a change from when the coach just gives you the ball, says you're going to play the whole game, and you're going to shoot every time no matter what happens. That's not happening. Del Harris wants everybody on his team to earn their time through their defensive contributions.
Another problem for George Karl. Jim McIlvain has gone to the bench with his third personal foul. Horry on the drive and then had it batted out of bounds by McMillan.
Well, Wingate is doing a good job of making Van Exel work. He spends some extra energy, takes some time off the clock. 11 on the shot clock as the Lakers will get it back underneath their basket.
Van Exel has it cleared out for him. He goes one-on-one with Wingate, spins, tries to feed underneath, but drew a foul.
Wingate had a tough time with Van Exel, and you got to remember, even though Van Exel is left-handed, he's very herky-jerky. He's going to come back to his left. He got faked out, spin, scoring opportunity for Van Exel. He misses his first free throw.
Steve, you see that heavy tape on Van Exel's left hand. He banged that thumb. A ton of Lakers have had that thumb injury this year. Van Exel, it's not hurting him anymore, but he just feels so comfortable and confident now with his stroke. He's just going to keep getting it taped by Gary Vitti.
32-28 Seattle.
Lakers show trap, and they get a turnover.
Terry Cummings is not having a good game.
Oh, what a lead for Eddie Jones from Van Exel. Eddie Jones has 11.
What you want to do against any kind of pressure is trap the guy on the sideline, and if you're the offensive team, keep the ball in the middle. Mistake, Cummings telegraphs that pass, and this is Nick Van Exel at his best. Right at the perfect spot for a long Eddie Jones.
This is a great lobbing team. Robert Horry tells me that on this team, with all the passers and all the athletes, throw it up at the hoop and somebody will just jam it down.
Shot clock at 7. Wingate back outside for Perkins. And Terry Cummings outside for Wingate. And a whistle blows, and that'll go against the rookie Derek Fisher.
That's why they call them rookies. Wingate has never been a great offensive force in the NBA, and it picks up a foul on a tough shot from Wingate.
We have 6:37 to play here in the first. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Sure looks lonely out there. Kind of place a guy can really get lost in, huh? Yeah. Oh, but your Lexus has an onboard satellite cellular communication system that'll open your door if you get locked out, give you directions if you're lost, send for help if you need it out there, huh?
No, it doesn't.
You're a brave man, my friend.
Seville STS now offers OnStar, the interactive communication system there to help you 24 hours a day.
Can I follow you?
No.
I mean, because if we're going in the same direction, otherwise I'm going to be a little lost.
No can do.
Booty. Fleshy, rounded lobes. A little something, something.
Can I get some?
Call.
Excuse me?
An invitation.
Let's get ready to rumble.
To lure or entice.
Hell, man.
Booty call.
Did you see that tarantula hair fool?
A late-night amorous encounter.
He looked like Predator.
A chance to knock the boots.
These beautiful eyes, those cheekbones.
Booty call.
And I love the little mustache.
Rated R. Opens February 26th.
6:37 to play in the first half. Seattle with a 32-30 lead. George Karl, whose team averages 35% from behind the arc, so far 1 of 7 so far this afternoon. That's a key part of the arsenal it's missing here so far today.
It is, and for George Karl, he has to stay committed to it and get the right people shooting the ball. Once they get a rhythm, they should have a chance. Now, I want you to tell me, what kind of hairdo is that Sam Perkins has?
I'm not saying anything about anybody else's hair.
It's a little twist. And he said as long as he had some, he was going to twist it. So we'll see if Sam comes up with a new style for everybody else to follow.
It does look better than the Celtics' Purvis Ellison's, though.
David Wingate goes 2 out of 2 from the line, and the Sonics lead it by 4, 34-30.
Greg, a lot of those three-point attempts for Seattle have come as the result of terrific offensive rebounding. They've got 8 already on the offensive glass.
There's an illegal defense call against the Sonics. George Karl will see the first free throw of the day come up in that area. Look at what the Seattle bench has done to the Laker bench so far today.
That's given the Seattle Sonics the pop and a little bit of a lead. They've gotten their people to come off and play well, and Del Harris hasn't, but his starters, Eddie Jones, Robert Horry, have done a fantastic job, so they're right there. It is another illegal defense. Eddie Jones cashes in. He's got 12 in the game.
But that points out the problem of Shaq being out long term. Where are they going to get firepower off the bench now that they bring Travis Knight into the starting lineup? I think Kobe Bryant and Byron Scott are going to have to get more playing time.
Campbell short on the turnaround, looking frustrated, wanting a call and not getting it. Detlef Schrempf. And Payton wants to post up the rookie down low.
Down in the low box, but they end up going away from him. Shot clock at 8.
I'd give Gary Payton the ball every time on this squad for Seattle.
Cummings pulls up and hits. Terry Cummings has 8. And the Sonics lead it by 5, 36-31.
I think of the teams that can absorb the loss emotionally the best, the Lakers are in a better position. They're not supposed to be number 1 in the West at this stage. The number 1 team is supposed to be the Sonics. They got to the finals a year ago. They've had all kind of uncomfortable turmoil around them this season.
Detlef Schrempf too strong on the baseline. A loose ball picked off by Eddie Jones.
Tough decision there by Terry Cummings. Detlef really wasn't ready for that ball. More patience out of the postman on their passing.
Nice feed for Travis Knight, who can't get it to fall, but he'll go to the free throw line.
Pick and roll basketball for the Lakers. Travis Knight just slips down, and the Lakers have given Travis Knight a huge amount of credit for the recent surge and explosion of Eldon Campbell. He showed all the guys on the team how to play with Shaquille O'Neal.
I want to remind you, coming up next, once we finish up here, an Eastern Conference battle, Penny Hardaway and the Orlando Magic go into Chicago to face Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. That's coming up next here on NBC.
That first free throw was an ugly one, and he got it on the right spot of the glass, so he called bank. But the next one showed you he's not a very good free thrower as Payton sailed that one out of bounds.
Although Del Harris and the Lakers are very, very happy with their rookie core, Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant and Travis Knight. They're getting pretty good mileage out of those youngsters.
It's actually worked out that Knight and Fisher have played better than Kobe Bryant has in significantly more minutes. Kobe Bryant coming in as the 13th pick. You'd expect more from him.
Jones short. Here comes Payton. Percy Hawkins on his right side feeds Hawkins, and Hawkins had it tipped by Van Exel out of bounds. We're talking about those rookies. Knight out of Connecticut, Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School, and Derek Fisher from Arkansas Little Rock. Like we said, pretty good group, and bodes well for the future of the Lakers.
These are all guys who can run, who can shoot, who are good, solid, complete basketball players, and they play well around Shaq. And Kobe Bryant, of course, just getting started, Greg.
Sonics by 4 with 4:10 to play in the first half. Robert Horry out of the corner for 3.
There are a couple of places out on the floor that Robert Horry shoots threes well from. One in the corner, the other from the angle. 11 points in the ball game for Horry.
But Eddie Jones and Robert Horry are the best skip passers on this team.
Nice little drive and scoop in by Detlef Schrempf. 40-37. Sonics reestablish a three-point lead. Detlef with 14.
Schrempf has been the most efficient offensive player out here this afternoon.
What a pass. Van Exel from Eddie Jones. Payton 1-on-3 outside. Schrempf wide open. That three-pointer off the mark. And Knight has the rebound. Lakers going to push it again. 3:15 to play in the first half. Two-man basketball this time. Payton breaks it up. Loose ball picked off by the Sonics. Hawkins, who tries to push it up ahead, but Travis Knight is there.
Well, he had the right idea. Sam Perkins was wide open.
And Eldon Campbell threw it away.
Ouch.
Now, Detlef Schrempf has been the guy that has kept the Seattle Sonics on top, driving, scoring from the outside. And the Lakers have been able to get open court passing. This time, Eddie Jones with a nice little lead for Van Exel. And it's a tight one.
The way we say it, Walton would have loved it.
Hi again, Bob Costas in New York, and coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll talk about the second game of our doubleheader. It'll be in Chicago between the Bulls and the Orlando Magic. We'll hear from Magic forward Horace Grant, the former Bull who has a few pointed words for his ex-team. We'll bring you highlights of the Knicks and Pacers from Madison Square Garden, as well as the Pistons visiting the Raptors in a Central Division game. And we'll get the thoughts of Julius Erving and Peter Bessie on the first half in L.A. The Sonics lead the Lakers 40-39. Back we go to Greg Gumbel, Steve Jones, Bill Walton, and Jim Gray.
All right, Bob, thank you. And, you know, we're trying to figure out here who is going to fill the void of these missing players. For Seattle, we thought it would be Gary Payton, and by day's end it may be, but so far it's been Detlef Schrempf.
Detlef Schrempf came out very aggressive, has taken the most advantage of mismatches and scoring opportunities to get the Sonics on top.
And Seattle has kept the Lakers from running out, getting that high-powered offense going. Payton with just 2 points. Remember, he averages 22 on the season, 24 and a half head-to-head against the Lakers.
Payton on top, feeds Schrempf down low, batted away from behind by Horry, and back comes Eddie Jones. I'll beat you to it, Bill. He jumped to make a pass.
Terrible.
Sam Perkins for three, too long, air ball. And out of bounds to Seattle. That one batted off of Travis Knight.
Eddie Jones made one dribble too many. When Van Exel was ready to receive it, he wasn't ready to pass it. He had to keep it because he had a bad angle, so they end up with a turnover. Good save by Stewart. Travis Knight out of the ball game. Jerome Kersey in.
Remember, Eddie Jones is a little under the weather. He had a horrible travel situation related to the All-Star game, back and forth across the country a couple times a week, something Greg Gumbel does every single day. But he is tired. He is playing with the flu.
Detlef Schrempf now 8 of 11. 8 of 11 from the field.
He's the difference in the ball game. Robert Horry, the difference in the ball game for the Lakers. Another three-pointer. He's got 6 in the quarter, 14 in the game.
We're tied at 42 with 1:50 to play in the first half. Schrempf. Oh, Detlef Schrempf is absolutely red hot.
The Lakers have not made the adjustments. They're doubling other guys and leaving him wide open. They're giving him turnaround shots to his right hand. Nobody is smacked down on that broken bone in his left.
Horry with a great pass for Kersey. Fouled from behind by number 23, Larry Stewart.
But what Detlef Schrempf has been able to do is move without the ball, take advantage of quick passing, get himself in a position to score, whether it's inside or outside. Wide open again, but that's moving to the right spot. And the Lakers on the other side, they've been finding people right at the heart of the defense.
Well, why are the Lakers leaving Detlef Schrempf wide open and doubling up on Larry Stewart and Sam Perkins and Peyton, guys who haven't gotten it going today.
They heard he had a broken hand. they forgot, though, it's his right hand that he shoots with.
Sonics with the basketball and a 1-point lead. Schrempf peels off of the pick from Peyton to score.
13 and a quarter for Schrempf.
And Robert Horry is an outstanding individual defender, and Schrempf is shredding him.
Van Exel looking for a way in, back outside. Horry towards the lane. Kersey, 6 on the shot clock. Schrempf all over him. Oh, and Eldon Campbell followed, no good. Picked off. Shot clock runs down on the Lakers.
Whoa, what was that?
What kind of shot was that by Jerome Kersey, who has become known as the wild thing around here in Los Angeles? Comes in and stirs things up off the bench, but the 18-foot fadeaway right-handed jump hook from behind the board. I don't know if that one's going down for our good friend Jerome.
Well, it's not going down, but he was going against the shot clock, and he was trying to get it on the glass and maybe hit the rim, and they get the rebound, but it didn't happen.
Putting 0.3 of a second back on the clock after that shot clock violation. 47 seconds to play in the first half is what the clock shows right now.
Two for one time for Seattle if they want to take advantage.
Peyton wants to get in it, but he hasn't been able to find a shot for himself. 9 on the shot clock.
Perkins for 3. 6-point lead for the Sonics. The biggest lead of the day.
Del Harris up the sideline telling Eldon Campbell to stay at home with Sam Perkins. You can't help inside.
And Exel taking time off the game clock and the shot clock. Shot clock down now to 6. He goes against Peyton. He may run out of time if he doesn't hurry. Throws it up at the buzzer. Doesn't get it to fall. Perkins outlet for Peyton, but he won't get it to go before time expires. Pretty good first half for the Seattle Sonics. A great first half for Detlef Schrempf. 10 of 13 from the floor. 21 in the first half. Our halftime score, the Sonics 50, the Lakers 44. We'll send you to Bob Costas in New York for the Prudential halftime report right after this.
This is the Prudential halftime report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services.
Halftime in Los Angeles, the Sonics leading the Lakers now 50-44. Bob Costas back at our studios in Manhattan. Peter Bessie is here and Julius Irving, as always. We'll hear from them in just a moment. Following the Sonics and the Lakers, it's the Bulls and the Magic from Chicago. There's that sound effect thing again, kind of catchy. Chicago has played brilliantly again. They're 44-6. Orlando has struggled, just 1 game over 500. No Shaquille O'Neal, of course, and injuries kept Penny Hardaway out for 23 games this year. Jim Gray spoke with the former Bull, now with Orlando, Horace Grant.
The offseason and the loss of Shaquille, how difficult has it been?
In the beginning, it was very difficult. Whenever you lose your franchise player, 30 points, 12 rebounds, 3 block shots, it's a big adjustment.
The day before Shaq made his announcement to go to the Lakers, you signed with the Magic. What was it that you saw, other than that $50 million, in the Orlando Magic and their management that Shaq didn't see?
I saw championships. I saw when I gave a person my word, I gave the organization my word, they gave me their word that they would take care of me. And we both lived up to our bar.
Sometimes I felt like that I wasn't wanted, that they felt like that I was a bad type of person.
I felt that the Magic treated him with respect, but I didn't know what was going on behind closed doors. I just heard a lot of things, and it was sort of disappointing because, you know, I wanted to finish my career with the big guy. I mean, I know I treated him with respect because, you know, he's bigger than I am, and we're good friends.
Last year's team was more talented. This year's team, we might be a little better because of the bench being as strong as it is.
Some of the players now kind of feel that maybe this team can be as good without Shaq as they were with him. Do you believe that?
That's a tough question. I think that our bench is a lot better than it was in the past couple of years. And I'm trying to be a politician here.
Very diplomatic here.
I think that we could compete as a team as if Shaq was on our team, but to reach that standard as a Shaquille marquee player team, it's going to be difficult.
When you play against the Bulls, do you ever think about what could have been had you stayed?
That first year when I left, I really didn't think about it. I sort of thought about it at my second year with Orlando, but I'm very happy where I am.
Do you have a little bit of regret, though?
None. I really don't, honestly. No regret, because I know how the organization is.
You're talking about in Chicago?
Yes.
Do you still have some angry, bitter feelings toward them over the way that whole thing came down?
I think it's gradually going away. I still have a little anger because of the way Jerry Reinsdorf did the situation, calling the press conference.
The number of games that he didn't play this year because of the Blue Flu probably cost us the Eastern Conference regular season championship.
Do you see a similar type of situation happening with Scottie Pippen and what he is going through to what you have experienced with the Bulls?
I would say Scottie and Phil. You know, if they could do it to Michael, they would. But, you know, you can't touch number 23. You know, I feel a little sorry for Scottie. He's in a situation where he's one of the top 5 players in the NBA, and he's making, you know, not his market value, I'll put it that way. And, you know, that's what type of organization that he's playing for.
For the sake of context, we might point out, Pete, that Horace Grant is not only a close friend of Scottie Pippen's, but they share the same agent.
Right, Jimmy Sexton in Memphis. In all fairness to Scottie Pippen, you haven't heard a peep out of him about his contract in a couple years now. He's resigned to being underpaid until his contract is finished the year after next. Unlike Sean Kemp, you know, Mitch Richmond, they had a real tough time this year for a while. Kemp still seems to have a tough time being underpaid. Now we get to Michael Jordan. He says that they won't pick on Michael Jordan. I think that they might. I think Jerry Reinsdorf, after this year, might say, hey, Michael, we gave you the $30 million as a reward for what you've done for us and also for being underpaid all those years. But now you're going to have to take a cut. And that's when we're going to see. It's going to get interesting then.
Doctor.
Well, let me put a label on Horace Grant so you know what he is as a basketball player. I'll call him the prototype superstar role player. He does for his teams what Dennis Rodman and Jason Williams do for their teams physically and mentally. I think he does what Joe Dumars does for his team, as well as Dennis Johnson did for those years for that great front line they had in Boston. Prototype superstar role player.
Unfortunately, we have to leave it at that because we need to get to a commercial. When we come back, highlights of the Knicks and Pacers, as well as the Pistons and Raptors. But first, a message from Prudential, and as always, a word from the NBA. Two games are final in the NBA this afternoon. First, the Knicks beat the Pacers 89-80 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks trailed by as many as 19 in the first half, but Chris Childs sparked a fourth-quarter comeback. Here he scores off a very pretty move, cut Indiana's lead to 5. But moments later, you'll notice Childs will stumble backwards, breaking his fall with his left hand. He sat out the rest of the way with a sprained wrist. John Starks and Allen Houston took over where Childs left off. Houston drives for 2 of his 15. Knicks take the lead with a 20-4 run. The Pacers had only 1 field goal in the fourth quarter. Patrick Ewing led New York with 23, and they win it 89-80. Now, Detroit and Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. There's Isaiah Thomas, the GM of the Raptors, president of the club, actually. His team has never beaten his old club, the Pistons. Third quarter, Damon Stoudemire to Marcus Camby for 2 of his 16. Stoudemire had 15 assists. Fourth quarter, Grant Hill will hit on the turnaround. The Pistons take the lead by 1. Hill led everybody with 23 points and 18 boards. Now, just over a minute left. Hill to Joe Dumars, who scored the last 9 points of the game for the Pistons. They're up 4 here, and even though you can't tell it from Isaiah's expression, station. His Raptors lost to his old team. The final score, 92-89. Now let's talk about the first half of the Sonics and the Lakers, beginning with Dr. J.
Well, I guess Del Harris was in the locker room telling Nick Van Exel, you got 5 assists, you're getting guys involved, but we need your scoring. Gary Payton, on the other hand, is sacrificing his offense. His team's up 6 points, and he's staying with Nick Van Exel, playing man-to-man, not helping people out. Watch the point guards the second half. That's going to be the key.
No Sean Kemp. Detlef Schrempf steps in, goes for 21 and a half on 10 of 13.
Well, it's like we were saying earlier with Mashburn going in and being the third scorer down in Miami behind Mourning and Hardaway. Right. We've got Detlef Schrempf, who is an all-star, but at the same time, he's able to live in the shadow and play in the shadow of Kemp and Payton. But when he needs to step it up, he is right there to do it. I think the key, though, is the Sonics trying to prove that they can beat their second injured quality team from the West after beating the Rockets the other day. They lost 7 in a row before that.
To the top teams, in the conference. Right. One other quick sports note as we depart. 25-year-old Jeff Gordon, the current young superstar on the NASCAR circuit, has just won the Daytona 500. Gordon finished ahead of Terry Labonte, Ricky Craven, and Bill Elliott in becoming the youngest to ever win the Daytona 500. It's halftime in Los Angeles. The Sonics lead the Lakers by 6. And we'll send it back for the second half right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services.
Played too slow of a game, only 12 shot attempts in the second period. Nick Van Exel and Eldon Campbell have not played well, and then the bench has been absolutely nothing from the bench.
Steve?
Hello, they need to guard Detlef Schrempf. I mean, he's torching them 10 or 13, and if they don't do a better job defensively, they're going to lose this ballgame.
They're going to need a few more points out of Gary Payton, too. Take a look at the Miller Lite halftime statistics. First of all, for the Los Angeles Lakers, leading the way is Robert Horry with 14 points, Eddie Jones with 12, and Eldon Campbell with 6. And most of Robert Horry's points have been coming from long range, including one out of the corner that bordered on the unbelievable. Meanwhile, for the Seattle Sonics, there's only one guy to look at so far today, and that's Detlef Schrempf, who has 21 points. Terry Cummings and Sam Perkins with 8. And in sharp contrast to Robert Horry, most of Detlef's are coming within just a few feet of the basket. He has made the most of his opportunity. 21 for Schrempf, Horry for 14. Will they continue to carry their team? It's been a red-hot Detlef Schrempf. He should try playing with a broken bone in his hand more often. Robert Horry's long-range shooting has been keeping the Lakers close, along with some expert free throw shooting. We're back for the second half right after this.
Welcome back to Los Angeles. I'm Jim Gray. The Sonics lead at halftime 50-44. Well, I spoke to George Karl. He was very happy with what went on in the first half. He said, however, we need to get some better shots in the second half, and we're going to double team the ball quite a bit defensively. Now, as for the Lakers, I spoke to Del Harris. Del Harris says, hey, look, we got to turn up the defensive pressure. We'd like to run some more, but we have to create some steals to enable ourselves to do that, and we've got to figure out a way to stop Detlef Schrempf. He says that's much easier said than done. Greg?
All right, Jim, thank you. I would guess George Karl was very happy with the first half. His Sonics have not been very successful this season at all against the other big 3 teams in the West, the Utah Jazz, the Houston Rockets, and the Los Angeles Lakers. On Friday night, Houston lost to Seattle, and that was the first win registered by the Sonics against any of those teams.
Seattle is playing very good ball out of the All-Star break.
Jones converts his own blocked shot.
And the Houston Rockets are not.
Now, the Rockets are beat up, but you know what the Rockets like to say is never underestimate the heart of a champion, and they'll be there when the postseason play begins. But this is a team. The team in green has got to establish themselves because everyone has said if they don't make it now, they'll probably change the makeup of the team. They got to the finals a year ago, basically the same team with the addition of McIlvain. They've got to step up and have some mental toughness.
And Exel's follow no good, and a loose ball foul. This one will go against Gary Payton of the Sonics.
And there's the height of the Lakers. You got 7-footers in Knight and Eldon Campbell, Robert Horry at 6'10", Gary Payton just not able to find any sort of rhythm today. I think he misses Sean Kemp.
4-point lead for the Sonics. Eddie Jones missed everything. Payton, Hawkins, Shrimp, Perkins, and McIlvain on the floor for the Sonics. This is Detlef going right back at it, back outside now to Perkins.
You know, when you're as hot as Detlef Shrimp, I'm not sure you give up those inside shots.
Hawkins. Perkins, no good. Picked off now by Ori, and Ori leads the break up ahead now. The whistle blows in the backcourt. And the foul is on Payton. That's number 2 on Payton.
Well, they caught Gary in transition, mixing it up with Travis Knight.
Now, he's hot because he thought he got held first, but that stopped the fast break. The Lakers are on a dead 2-on-1, so even though he's mad, it turned out to be a good foul.
But, Steve, better refereeing would have been to let the fast break go, and then at the end, you blow the whistle and then call the foul.
5 seconds later?
Absolutely. The way they do on a technical foul. They just raise their arm to signal the foul being called. Ori is everywhere.
The start of the third quarter has the start of the feel of the first quarter end that the Lakers are getting multiple opportunities at the offensive end. Campbell cashes in.
Eldon Campbell cuts the Sonics lead to 2 at 50-48. And Eldon has 8.
This is something that so many teams are doing against Gary Payton now, playing with the bigger guard on Payton and let the small point guard Hershey Hawkins. Eldon Campbell just goes right by McIlvain. McIlvain looks like he grew some roots while he was playing defense there.
Foul number 3 on Travis Knight was the call. Payton looking to get involved. Into the lane, draws the foul, and gets it to roll.
But isn't it amazing with guys like McIlvain and Larry Johnson how the expectations go along with the salaries they receive?
Well, but Larry Johnson earned at least the stature of an all-star player before he received that $84 million. McIlvain has yet to earn the stature of a guy of an all-star player getting $5 million a year.
But in a couple years, $5 million is going to be average salary.
But you still have to earn it. You still have to earn it.
5 points for Gary Payton today.
It's not his fault that they offered it to him.
53-48. Sonics with the lead. Sonics shot 53% from the floor during the second quarter and benefited from 6 Laker turnovers. Eddie Jones got stuck on the baseline and the loose ball picked off by Perkins. Here come the Sonics again. Hershey Hawkins down low. McIlvain was looking the other way. Here come the Lakers. Van Exel got the whistle and the basket.
Now that's Laker basketball. Capitalize on the errors of the other team, turn the steal into transition, get up the court with speed, quickness, ball movement, and then big guys following the floor, following the play to tip it in if it's missed.
And now they are ruling that there is no basket, and Del Harris wants to know why, and quite frankly, I'd like to know myself.
That's what's called a bad call. There was no dribble. Van Exel does not dribble the ball. He just goes right there.
He didn't dribble the ball, but they're saying he got fouled before he got the shot away. So he tried. The crowd doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. But the refs ruled, and they get a new 24.
Campbell backing in on McIlvain and got the bucket.
Greg, that's the way Eldon Campbell has been playing this last streak, where the Lakers 9 out of 10 wins, 18 out of 22. Just turnaround jumpers, the jump hooks, the rebounds, the block shots.
Lakers trying to cut into a three-point lead now. Van Exel for 3. Tie game.
Talked about halftime about the Laker tempo. This is it.
And they got a mismatch. Shrimp against Van Exel, which is going to get Gary Payton his first three-point field goal. 6 points here in the quarter for Payton. All of the Sonics scoring.
Campbell threw that one away. It was batted out of bounds by Hawkins. The Lakers have the ball, 16 on the shot clock. Let's go back to Nick Van Exel.
The reason that Van Exel is so difficult to handle is he's herky-jerky, and you never can really get a sense of when he's going to pull up or when he's going to explode to the hoop. He drops a three from deep on Detlef Schrempf.
Robert Horry, top of the key for three. Out of bounds.
Plus, Van Exel, Steve, will take shots that you pay most guys to take on the other team. Unfortunately, he drills them.
Now, he takes a lot of tough shots. His percentage tells you he's 41 from two-point range, 39 from three-point range, that he's got a high degree of difficulty in his shot selection.
Top of the key, illegal defense call against the Lakers.
Second one against the Lakers, so it's going to be a shooter. Dale Harris looks at the clock. Travis Knight saying, I was double teaming, but he somehow got stuck right in the middle of the floor. So Hawkins will get to the line. He started off very aggressively and has quietly backed out of the game. He's got to jumpstart himself here in the third quarter. As I said at the start of the game, this is the difference between them getting back to the finals and not making it the play of Hersey Hawkins.
I think the interesting thing here in the second half is if you were going to see a more involved Gary Payton than in the first half, as we have seen already, what kind of effect will that have on Detlef Schrempf's hot hand?
I think Schrempf will continue to be effective. He's just got to stay in a scoring position.
Well, Detlef, thank you for the answer. Three out of the corner makes it 60-53 Seattle.
Lakers need a timeout. Detlef has that ability to get it in the flow of the game. He doesn't have to take it away from anybody else.
Detlef Schrempf out of the corner for yet three more. 24 points on the day, 11 of 14. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Eddie Jones back on the floor. And Van Exel looking to him. The lob for Jones. Got bumped. No call. Tapped home by Travis Knight.
Big on the offensive glass, but Seattle continues to keep L.A. in the half-court set. If they do that the rest of the game, Seattle's got a wonderful chance of winning.
Travis Knight has 7 on the afternoon.
Well, they want to make Travis Knight defend, and Perkins started the ball game down on the low box against him. Should be able to get the shot away. An easy deuce.
But Travis Knight is a very long defender, Steve. And he is deceptive out there. So many people think that you got to have that big, huge, muscular body. I think the NBA needs more of guys like Travis Knight, guys who have skill, and then you work on the body later. But here, Perkins uses that left arm to just slide to the right arm to slide to the outside.
How long will he have to be? Because he was a long way away from Sam Perkins.
Meanwhile, on the floor, Hersey Hawkins has drawn his second personal.
Hawkins trying to be physical against Eddie Jones, trying to stay close, but the Lakers in the half court seem to be a little bit confused. Eldon Campbell with a good finish.
Eldon Campbell continues to get the job done inside now. He has 12. 62-57.
McIlvain is a big, strong guy, and Eldon Campbell just shoved him right out of the way.
Payton gets fouled by Eddie Jones on the way to the basket. Here's Campbell again. And remember, he's got 8 rebounds to go with these 12 points now.
How many dribbles? 2, 3. And then just spins right by McIlvain. Payton at the line. He was telling me when I was asking him about Sean Kemp and the problems that Sean's been going through lately, he said that Gary took him out to a restaurant in Seattle. They ordered 20 bottles of water, put it right on the table, and had a good, long teammate talk.
Over 20 bottles of water? And the significance of the water would be?
Well, Sean's been under a little bit of criticism for what he's been drinking in some of the restaurants.
Gary Payton to the line. 6:05 on the clock, 62-57. Payton misses the first. I want to remind you, before you watch the Magic and the Bulls, go online to NBC.com/sports. Full scouting report. You'll find an overview of the game, a recap of their head-to-head matchups, the starting lineups, and position-by-position analysis. And this week, we take a look at the league's rookie class. All online at NBC.com/sports. 63-57, just under 6 minutes to play now here in the third quarter. All the way across court and out of bounds. Horry threw it away.
Defensively, the Sonics have picked up their intensity of making the Lakers work a lot tougher here and trying to find the open people. They get a mistake this time and a chance to build on their lead with this possession. Pick and roll, Perkins and Payton.
Payton reads it, takes the jumper. And Campbell with another rebound. Travis Knight on the move. Don't you love those big men who run the floor?
Well, they get out, and Van Exel and Eddie Jones are wonderful at kicking that ball ahead.
You know, they've been saying all year long that you can't run, but again, that proves that if you run the floor and pass the basketball, you can have fast break basketball, but the key is the pass, and Van Exel is very good at that.
One thing the Lakers have done, Greg, is make sure that they make that commitment to just outrunning your opponent. Don't just jog up and down the court and hope that one or two times you get an advantage because he falls asleep. If you just get out and flat out run, you're going to create opportunities for yourself. Careless turnover, McElvain.
Turnover by the Seattle Sonics.
There's a guy that could run, George Karl, playing for North Carolina. Come on. George Karl could run.
Affectionately known as the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Give Nick Van Exel another terrific assist. That lob for Eldon Campbell, who has 12 points.
Very similar to the play that Shaq got hurt on. Always dangerous to receive lob passes over the course of your career.
Van Exel with 8 assists so far this afternoon.
This is a play that worked the last time, and they come back to it. They're going to make Campbell get in and get some help, and Perkins can't finish.
Another rebound for Campbell. He's got 10. 63-61. Lakers looking for a tie or better on this trip.
Look at the defense by Hawkins.
7 on the shot clock.
Campbell. And we're tied at 63. George Karl says we're going to talk about it here with 3:58 to play in the third quarter. The Lakers on an 8-1 run have come alive here late in the third.
They usually throw this lob to Shaq, but Van Exel just says, hey, Eldon's the man in the middle now. He's the lead of our show. And then Eldon Campbell takes advantage of the foolish double team by Jim McElvain.
Eldon Campbell, 16 points, 10 rebounds. Let's go to the scouting report on Eldon, the man that the Lakers now have to look for to hold up the middle.
5 for 5 shooting in this quarter. His game, though, is based on his low post offense. Turnaround jump shots, right-handed jump hooks. He's a terrific shot blocker. The big key there, searching for that consistent performance and effort. He's got it going in the third, though.
And Campbell just grabbed the rebound off of that missed shot. Van Exel throws it up, around and out, and Shrimp has the rebound. Percy almost took it away.
Steve begs the question for Laker defense on Shrimp in the second half. They've held him to just one shot attempt, Detlef Shrimp.
There's a three-pointer that he hit out of the corner. Payton with the shot clock at 6 on the move.
Not even close.
Oh. Campbell with another rebound.
You underestimate how big this front line is for the Lakers, Greg. And that's even without Shaq.
Lakers last led at 26-25. They have a chance to take the lead here. Campbell. And Campbell will go to the line.
You can see the hunger in Campbell right now, the fire, the drive, missing in the first half. Now, nothing is going to stop him. He's going right to his jumpers.
But he's got room to work, which he didn't have quite so much of in the first half of play. They're giving him isolations, and they're finding him when he's got a chance to bring the ball to the basket, and he's been effective. Confidence building here in the third. 11 points with that free throw. Campbell's a guy that has led the Lakers back. Now the Sonics got to find an offensive answer of their own in the final 2:57 of the third quarter.
Campbell hits them both. 18 for Eldon and 12 rebounds. Lakers by 2 and 2:50 to play here in the third.
Shrimp on the post against Jerome Kersey, and they turn it over.
Kersey and Schrempf banging down low. No call. Ball goes out of bounds to L.A.
Greg, Kersey makes so many things happen. Coming in as the role player now that everybody's back in the lineup, back from their injuries, and Ori is playing regularly. Makes things happen on both ends of the court, Kersey.
Campbell. Tap no good. Tap again no good by Travis Knight.
Should have brought that one down. Unless you know you're going to make it, don't take a chance on a wild tip.
Van Exel on McMillan.
Normally when McMillan's in, they try to look for Gary Payton to try to score the ball. He's got 7 against the clock. 9.
That's a pretty good shot there, Steve. Did you teach him that one up in Oregon?
He went to Oregon State. I would never teach a guy anything from Oregon
65.
State.
Eddie Jones flips to Campbell. Down low for Knight. Got the bucket and the foul. Some pretty good passing of the basketball by the Lakers.
Front court players exchanging nice passes. Eldon gets a tough pass from Van Exel initially, and then Travis Knight, who moves so well, he never stops. He's just got a great basketball background, has played his whole life, not just recently because he's long and tall.
Nate McMillan, three-pointer, no good, loose ball. Eddie Jones scrambles out of bounds to the Lakers. David Wingate off the Seattle bench.
Eddie Jones looks a little tired, looks fatigued.
Now, Eddie Jones is just kind of a sleepy-looking player. You let him run a few more times, and he'll explode out there, and you'll say, Jesus, where did he wake up? But he's that kind of a player. But they've had Eldon Campbell and Van Exel going here in the third, so he's just letting the game come to him.
Van Exel's 3 gives the Lakers a 5-point lead with 1:20 to play.
And it was Van Exel and Campbell who were silent in the first half.
Perkins spins on the rookie Travis Knight.
Yeah, I think in this ball game, Sam Perkins has to stay at home, stay inside, and wear out the defense of Travis Knight until they get him down.
Under a minute to play now. Van Exel looks for room, puts it up, and hits again. Another 3 for Nick Van Exel.
And he turned and said something to Seattle's bench, including George Karl. He's in the zone now.
40 seconds to play.
Now there are 9 seconds, and the Sonics are confused. That means Payton's going to have to make a play on his own.
Goes to the left hand. What a shot by Gary Payton.
I don't believe there's a better offhand finisher around the basket in the NBA than Gary Payton.
Van Exel with 20 seconds to play, and now Kersey back outside.
Shoot a 3, Van Exel. You got it.
And McMillan comes up and draws a cheap one.
Well, Van Exel has got 9 points in the quarter, them all 3-point field goals, and as you like to say, I guess he's already had his heat check, and McMillan was up tight on him, wasn't going to let him get loose. Knight, a nice hand from the crowd for playing without the basketball, 6 points in the quarter, but just a pest for the Sonics in that they can't keep a body on him. They haven't really been able to contain him. A solid ball game for him.
Sean Rooks now off the bench for Eldon Campbell. And Hersey Hawkins into the lineup for Seattle for the last 13.6 of this quarter.
Remember, Nick Van Exel is the one who has commented publicly about the Lakers' domination of Seattle, winning 11 out of the last 15 ball games. That includes playoffs. And Nick has said that, hey, we own Seattle. We feel every time we play them, we got them.
Well, he's got 11 points in the quarter to go with the 5 he had, so it's a 16-point game for Van Exel in a big third quarter.
Gary Payton on the move, lays it up, no, loose ball picked off, Robert Horry, and that'll do it for the quarter. Van Exel launches too late, but Van Exel has done some heavy-duty damage so far. this quarter. Nick Van Exel, 16 points on the game, 11 in the third quarter, and a few words for the Seattle bench. And Gary Payton doing his share for the Seattle Sonics, 75-69 Lakers. We'll come back to the Great Western Forum after these messages and a word from your local station.
Welcome back to Los Angeles. I'm Jim Gray in the Laker locker room. Shaquille O'Neal cheering his teammates on. Shaquille, if this score holds up, will be the third straight win by the Lakers without you. Are you surprised that they've done so well?
I'm not surprised because we have a very talented team. We have a lot of veterans on this team. We have hard workers on this team. And we're going to be fine, even without Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq, there's been a lot of criticism of you for not showing up last week after being picked to the 50th. One of the 50 on the greatest of all time in the NBA. You received some criticism. You did not show up. Was that a lack of respect on your behalf, and why weren't you there?
If I had it all over to do again, I think I would show up. But I was ordered by the doctors to stay and rehabilitate my right knee.
So you would, if you could do it again, you would show up?
If I could do it again, I would show up, yes.
You're sorry about it?
Yes, I am sorry.
Shaq, we appreciate your time. Good luck in your recovery. We'll be talking to you again next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's send it back out to the game. Craig?
All right, Jim and Shaq, thank you. 11:35 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Now the Lakers brought big energy in the third quarter to get on top, and now the Sonics got an answer. They got to be better defensively. They got to be better at the offensive end.
Double foul on Horry and Terry Cummings. Coming up the court here after the jumper by Wingate. That's what happens when Payton plays so well, making those tough shots in there, because then everybody has to play him to deny those shots, and then you can pick them apart.
Third personal on each of those gentlemen. 75-71, Lakers with the ball with a 4-point lead.
To show you what respect Seattle has for Eddie Jones, they now have Gary Payton, the Defensive Player of the Year, guarding him head-to-head.
Eddie Jones spins on McMillan.
I guess he's not tired.
He looked pretty good there.
16 for Eddie Jones.
It just also shows you, though, how limited Nate McMillan is.
Payton went right back at his man and then fed Terry Cummings, who will go to the line.
I think Eddie Jones is very gifted at the offensive end. He's got an explosive first step, and Nate McMillan was too close. Anytime you're that close defensively and you got a guy that knows how to play offense, bad things happen to you.
Well, and it shows, too, a man at the beginning of his career, Eddie Jones in his third year, versus Nate McMillan, a man who's already put a lifetime into the NBA.
Terry Cummings gets the first.
Secrets for the Sonics to win for the first time against the Lakers this year is to stay close. The Lakers have mistakes in their game. They will let you back in it. We have seen the lead change several times so far in this ball game, but they've got to stay focused and produce. Cummings gets both of the free throws.
14 times this season the Sonics have entered the fourth quarter trailing a game. They have come back to win only once.
They've got to do Seattle a job of making Horry and Kersey shoot.
And Lakers lose it out of bounds.
Campbell had a magnificent third quarter, 12 points, and didn't make any mistakes. Didn't turn the ball over a lot. He's got turnovers in him, and if you can get him outside the key, that's where they're going to happen.
Out of bounds.
Eddie Jones, Greg, is claiming that ball went off Gary Payton's foot after Eddie Jones stripped him from behind. It clearly goes off.
Right about that.
Bad call by the ref.
Shrimp on a nice bounce pass from Gary Payton. Detlef Shrimp with 26 now.
After a torturing first half, you had a very quiet third quarter. Only one shot, 3-point field goal.
Horry, no. Rebound to the Sonics.
Good defense, Seattle. Double team Eldon Campbell. Let Horry and Kersey do all the shooting if you're Seattle.
Cummings into the lane. A hard offensive foul. Oh, and now looks like Robert Horry is down and hurt, grabbing his left knee. And Ori fell against Terry Cummings, who gets up all right, but it's Ori who looks like he might be seriously hurt. The clock is stopped with 9:54 to play in regulation. The Lakers lead it by 2. We'll try to update Robert Ori when we come back.
Miller Genuine Draft presents a classic moment of the NBA at 50.
And today we look back at Laker great Elgin Baylor. The franchise's all-time leading rebounder, was the NBA Rookie of the Year in 1959 in Minneapolis. After his second season, the team moved to Los Angeles, where Baylor set the NBA Finals record for most points in a game, 61, against the Celtics in 1962. In recognition of this classic moment, Miller Beer will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Number 22 belonging to the great Elgin Baylor. Robert Ori being helped off of the floor. And here's a look, as much as we can see, of what happened before. We know that he was rolled into, and his left leg suffered the brunt of that.
Living proof of just how strong and powerful Terry Cummings is as a player, and this does not look good for Robert Ori at all. I played in a game against Cummings in the late 80s when he was with the Milwaukee Bucks with the Celtics. He did that to Scott Wedman, hit Scott Wedman with a knee in the chest. The back of Scott Wedman's ribs broke. That's how much power Terry Cummings brings with him to the hoop.
Lakers can ill afford another serious injury, with Shaquille O'Neal sitting in the locker room and disabled for what appears to be the rest of the regular season. Kersey with a turnover. Cummings has the ball.
The Sonics are best in the league at forcing turnovers and scoring out of them. And if they can keep that kind of defensive energy up, they can get back on top of the scoreboard. Cummings working against Eldon Campbell.
Tough shot clock at 5. Back outside, Wingate around and out. Eddie Jones with the rebound.
Eldon Campbell really playing the role of a center now, just wearing out Wilt Chamberlain's groove down the middle of this Forum floor, not streaking out on the break.
Campbell missed it. The Sonics want a traveling call, which doesn't come. Instead, the foul is called on Nate McMillan, and that's his 5th.
Are you saying that only Wilt ran down the middle of the floor? All centers run down the middle of the floor. That's the only place they know to run. It's a center's groove. It's just not Eldon Campbell's or Chamberlain's groove.
Cowens, McAdoo, they ran the lane.
Eldon Campbell gets it. Let's check with Jim Gray now. Jim.
All right, thank you, Greg. Well, they just took Robert Ori back into the locker room. He cannot put any pressure at all on his left knee. He tried to take some ginger steps, really couldn't do it. He was carried in by Joe Klein and Gary Vitti. They're going to check him out right now, run the necessary x-rays and so forth, and Gary Vitti will get back to us shortly, but it does not look good right now for Robert Ori. Greg?
All right, Jim, and not good news for Del Harris and the Los Angeles Lakers, already shorthanded minus Shaquille O'Neal. 79-75, Lakers in the lead. We come up on 8:50 to play in regulation. Shrimp on Travis Knight, gets it to roll.
And there's a guy they got to bring back as a featured player to finish this game. A terrific ball game, and beginning to cook here at the top of the fourth quarter. 4 points for Detlef Shrimp.
But the way he positions his body and uses that off arm and kisses it with the jump hook, that's a lot of Elgin Baylor right there.
Another turnover. The Lakers have had a lot of mistakes here at the top of the quarter, and the Sonics have surged back into the game.
14 Laker turnovers so far today. Cummings. And Campbell with another rebound.
Cummings has worked very hard to get moves coming back to his right. For a right-handed player, he, like Bob McAdoo, prefers going left.
Payton trying to get that ball away from Van Exel. Back around outside Jerome Kersey. Knight tried to keep it alive. Payton comes away with it. Long lead for Wingate. For Shrimp. And a nice feed from David Wingate. Timeout Lakers. Sonics have come back to tie with 7:43 to play in regulation. Nice basketball here, Bill.
And they've done it with their defense. They're trapping. They're making the Lakers scramble. The Lakers are not making good decisions. Transition, Detlef Shrimp finishing beautifully.
Short while ago at the United Center, Anthony Hardaway, who has missed 23 games this year because of injuries. There you see his numbers for the season coming in. The Magic Trying to take on Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Michael looking sharp as always. Don't want to drive with the jacket on. Might wrinkle it. Now he puts it on when he gets out of the car. The Bulls have beaten the Magic 8 straight times. 5:30 Eastern, right after the Sonics and the Lakers. Back to the Forum.
All right, Bob, and 79-79 is our score. We have Jim Gray pretty much on the run. Let's check in with him again. Jimmy.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. I'm with Jerry West, the Executive Vice President of Operations for the Lakers. He just came out of the locker room. The condition of Robert Horry is what?
Well, the doctors are examining him now, but it doesn't look real good at this point in time. But, these are the things that happen in a fast-paced game. You can't ever anticipate you're going to have a healthy team, and obviously right now we don't.
Was there a trade in the works, or will you try and do anything? You had the problem with Shaq for 8 to 10 weeks. Now with Robert Horry compounding that, will there be a trade by the Lakers?
Well, we talked to a number of teams about trying to do something, but actually, one of the things that we had a lot of were big people. And now it looks like we're losing our big people. So a trade would not appear imminent for us.
Jerry, do you have any idea when the preliminary diagnosis will come on Robert Horry, or is it just wait and see here?
Well, it's kind of a wait and see thing. And, you really don't know about these things. He might be able to walk out of here, but tomorrow when the doctors examine him on a more thorough basis, those are when the ugly things come out of this game. But, we've had a lot of good fortune here, and we're having a little bad fortune now. Hopefully we'll see some good fortune before the season's over.
Final question. You're confident with the doctors that Shaq can return this season?
Well, we don't know that. We're very hopeful that he'll be able to play. But, the most important thing is for him to be healthy. We have never been a team that has pushed players to play maybe when it's a little bit beyond their time. But he's a very competitive guy and really one of the most committed players I've ever seen. And it's nice to have him on our side. We obviously wish he were playing.
Jerry, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Let's send it back out to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, and right now, Del Harris has called a 20-second timeout. His Lakers have hit a cold spot. Seattle is 6 of 11 here in the fourth quarter, and the Lakers are 0 for 6 and are continuing to turn the ball over.
Greg, the Lakers fell apart when Seattle started scrambling all over with McMillan in the lineup and Wingate and Hawkins and Payton just trapping everywhere, forcing the guys to handle the ball out of their regular set offense. They've taken Eldon Campbell away from his turnaround jumpers, his one-on-one post moves. And then with the Laker guards attacking the basket, Seattle able to get out in transition for easy hoops.
But this has been a game of defensive surges, and the defensive energy right now belongs to the Sonics. They're everywhere, and they're making the Lakers a perimeter team, giving them one shot and then looking to explode the other way. Lakers not getting back defensively.
Lakers 0 for 7 from the floor as the Sonics on a 12-2 tear here in the fourth.
And the Lakers forced Greg to play small right now. Kobe Bryant in the lineup. That has not been their strong point this year.
Cummings comes up short on that night with the rebound, and here comes Van Exel. Van Exel on the move. Tough shot. Campbell.
Late, but the right call. A little push on Detlef Shrimp to get control of that one.
Nick Van Exel had no idea where the basket was. He was up in the air thinking pass, and he got caught at the last minute. All he could do was throw it up. Eldon Campbell's a big, strong guy. Bear in mind, Detlef Shrimp is 6'10".
5:45 to play regulation. Sonics 83, Lakers 79. Shrimp over Travis Knight. Good defense by Knight, and the foul is on.
Well, the big men not quite so subtle with their tricks this afternoon. Hands and bodies very obvious to the officials. A push there by Terry Cummings. But George Karl right now seeing his team on a good offensive surge. Del Harris is going to counter with some offense. Kobe Bryant in the ballgame.
Neither coach can be real sure which way his team is going to go, considering the ebb and flow of this game so far today.
This battle of muscle and brawn down low, Eldon Campbell and Terry Cummings.
Eddie Jones to the baseline. Nice move by Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones has 18.
That's quickness off the dribble against Detlef Shrimp. That's a tough matchup for Detlef Shrimp.
First field goal of the quarter for the Lakers, and it comes with just over 5 minutes remaining.
Steve, that's the matchup that we saw in the finals last year when Detlef was exposed by Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Weak hook shot. Well, put 2 hands on it.
Perkins was thinking foul the entire way. Kobe Bryant.
Like Eddie Jones
This is the athleticism of the Lakers shining through. The mismatch deadlift can't guard. Eddie Jones gets his layup. And then the unsung one, Kobe Bryant, the tender meat, comes in and puts one back.
4:37 remaining in regulation.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Ford Taurus, more of what America wants in an automobile. By Reebok, where Allen Iverson's the answer and the question is his shoe. And by Miller Genuine Draft, who reminds you it's time for better beer breath.
Laker fans have come alive, and although he doesn't look excited, Jack Nicholson does get excited on occasion. And David Spade, still a contributor to Saturday Night Live and movie star. Part of the crowd on hand. 4:37 remaining. The Lakers have pulled into an 83-83 tie with Seattle.
Even without O'Neal and Kemp, this has been a very entertaining ball game. A late arriving crowd, all enjoying it now. And it'll be finding the guy that can score close that'll make the difference.
Sam Perkins gets the hook to go, and the Sonics are back up by 2.
They're really allowing Sam to establish deep position. Seattle comes with that trap. Kick ball.
Payton with a foot on the ball. It'll be Kobe Bryant inbounding the ball for the Lakers. Kobe Bryant, Eldon Campbell, Van Exel, Eddie Jones, and Travis Knight on the floor for the Lakers.
The Lakers got some firepower out there in every position. Travis Knight's the only guy that doesn't need the basketball to score. Kobe Bryant trying to make it happen. They get a foul.
Detlef Schrempf coming off his man to help out Hersey Hawkins, draws his second personal.
Del Harris hoping and praying that Kobe Bryant plays within himself right now, doesn't try anything too tricky. They're going to curl off here and then dump it down low. This is the same play they run for Shaq all the time.
Down low, Travis Knight got fouled as he went to the basket, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Now there's an example of where Travis Knight does not need the basketball.
Let's check in with Jim Gray on Robert Horry. Jim?
Well, Greg, the preliminary diagnosis is a sprained left knee. It's a bad sprain. He will be re-examined tomorrow by Dr. Lombardo. At that point, it will be determined just how severe it is. He is very much in jeopardy for Wednesday night's game against the Cavaliers here in Los Angeles and could be well beyond, but they'll know much more tomorrow after the MRI, and they've been able to examine all the x-rays. Greg?
All right, Jim, thank you. Robert Horry playing in only his 12th game for the Lakers since coming over with Joe Klein from Phoenix in the trade for Cedric Ceballos and Ramil Robinson back on the 10th of January.
Travis Knight is the guy that the Chicago Bulls drafted. Nobody knew about him. You're getting a better look at him this afternoon, but the value that he has is that to be a factor at the offensive end, he doesn't need the ball. Big pass to Sam Perkins.
Pass from Gary Payton, and the Sonics lead it by 2, 3.5 to play.
All offensive players on the floor for Seattle. It really makes it difficult if the Lakers do decide to double team at any time.
Eddie Jones down the lane. Didn't fall, and he'll shoot 2.
This is a game in which the offense is going to make the difference. Both teams know that they're going to have scoring. They want to have defensive energy with it as well, but once you get the ball, you got to have somebody that can score it. You look at both teams, they're thinking once we convert or make the team make a mistake, we got to have people that can score the basketball.
Eddie Jones, an 81% free throw shooter on the year, is now 7 for 7 from the line here this afternoon. Looks for number 8 in a row and gets it. 87-87, 3:15 to play, 22 on the day for Jones.
8 in the quarter for Eddie Jones. He's the guy that led the surge back.
Lakers need to stay at home on Payton with just Eddie Jones.
Fourth personal, 5th team against the Lakers. A shooter for Detlef Schrempf. Schrempf had a really fine start at the top of the quarter with these free throws. If he gets them both, he'll be at 8 in the quarter, 32 on the afternoon.
21 first half points for Detlef Schrempf.
Remember, as we come down the stretch here, the Lakers are the worst free throw shooting team in basketball. Granted, a lot of that has to do with Shaq.
32 for Detlef Schrempf. 2-point lead for the Sonics. And 3:05 to play in regulation.
And really now with the injury to Ori and Kersey on the bench, there's nobody for the Lakers that can stay with Detlef.
Shot clock at 10. Van Exel going one-on-one on McMillan. Puts up the three, and Payton grabs the rebound.
Everybody moved to the edge of their seat because he'd made the three in a row in the third. That one didn't have much of a chance.
Poor Nate McMillan.
Payton going to put up the three. And Campbell with the rebound. 16 rebounds for Campbell. Eddie Jones on the run.
Steve, how do you practice that shot? You just line up some defenders and just keep running at them?
I think with Eddie Jones, it just shows you how good he is and elastic, and he makes adjustment in midair, and he's best in the open court. Payton comes right back, 6 1/4 for Payton.
91-89 Sonics as we come up on 2 minutes to play in regulation.
Kobe Bryant cleared out, and now they're going to dump it into Eddie Jones in the post.
Hawkins tries to front him, trying to keep it away from him, and does so successfully. Here's Kobe Bryant with the shot clock at 5, lost the handle, and reached back and committed the foul.
And he was gone, though. This little dance tells you that when he gets it right, he's going to hurt some people. He is by Nate McMillan, just lost control of the ball, handed it to Detlef Schrempf, and Travis Knight, Kobe Bryant both fouled him, so Schrempf back at the line. But the history of the series so far, 110-106, close ball game, Lakers win. 104-103, Lakers win.
Both these teams doing a terrific job at the free throw line this afternoon. The Lakers 23 of 27, and with that Schrempf free throw, Seattle now 15 of 17 from the line.
Back to Kobe Bryant's turnover. Poor decision making. He had all the defenders on that left side of the court. That's where his drive was going. You got to set him up left to come back to the open side.
Schrempf with 34, and the Sonics with a 4-point lead. Coming up on 1:40 to play.
Two-man basketball here. Van Exel and Eddie Jones.
Van Exel out of control, threw it up, rebound. Campbell batted away by, it looked like by Perkins. And the foul is on Travis Knight.
He had to call it. I mean, he tried to jump over him. They let that one go as he saddled him. But it was a tremendous effort against Eldon Campbell for the Sonics to get in this position for Gary Payton to shoot a pair of free throws. Knight, 5 personal fouls.
Great. It seems like the Lakers have fallen apart offensively the last couple of possessions. Nothing good. When Eddie Jones is not making his spectacular plays, the rest of the Lakers seem to throw it up with confusion.
Well, remember that guy that was talking to Gary Payton? Payton has showed up in the second half. He's got 18 with that free throw, so that gives him 20 on the afternoon.
And now 4 out of 5 from the free throw line, and the Lakers call timeout. 1:29 to play. The Lakers have won 9 of their last 10 and 3 in a row. The Sonics don't look impressed.
Coming up next, a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and the Chicago Bulls are still the NBA's best team. But Penny Hardaway, Horace Grant, and Orlando will bring some magic of their own to the Windy City. Game 2 of our NBA on NBC doubleheader coming up next.
Greg Gumbel, Bill Walton, Steve Jones, Jim Gray back at the Great Western Forum. 1:29 to play in the fourth. 95-89 Sonics. 3 full timeouts and a 20 remaining for the Seattle Sonics. The Lakers with 1 full timeout remaining.
Well, the Lakers have a ton of time left, and what they have to do now is identify where they want to score in this possession. This is a critical possession for them in getting back into this ball game.
But Seattle has done a marvelous job, Steve, of keeping the Lakers from their game. There was a stretch there where the Lakers were shooting threes and Eldon Campbell was going for it in low. Other than that, it's been Seattle.
Oh, Eddie Jones, nice move. Let's correct something. The Lakers with 2 full timeouts remaining.
12 points in the quarter for Eddie Jones. He's the guy that's brought him back. And now it's up to the defense of the Lakers to make the Sonics take a tough perimeter shot.
Schrempf to Hersey Hawkins for three and hit it. Big shot for the Sonics by Hersey Hawkins.
Lakers need another timeout. Almost too much of a look away by Detlef. Caught Hersey Hawkins by surprise.
66 seconds left on the clock. 98-91 Sonics. We're coming back to L.A. after these words from your local station.
The Magic were thought to have at least a chance to dethrone the Bulls, but Penny has missed 23 games this year. Shaq is gone. The Magic has lost 8 straight to Scottie Pippen and company. They'll get another crack at them. Coming up from the United Center, tip-off scheduled for 5:30 Eastern Time, right after we conclude the broadcast of the Sonics and the Lakers. Back we go to Los Angeles.
All right, Bob, 7-point lead for the Sonics, and Jim Gray tells us from the Laker bench that Del Harris is saying it's time to take chances on defense.
Well, he wants lots of three-pointers, Del Harris does. And then when Seattle gets the ball, don't foul immediately. Try for some quick steals. But this Seattle defense is just smothering. And the Lakers forced to burn another timeout. They're running out quickly.
Clock is down to 58 seconds remaining. And that was the last Laker timeout.
But you're down 7, and you don't have an idea of how to score. Other than Eddie Jones in the quarter, who scored 12 of their 16 points, they've been confused by the defense of the Sonics. So you have to give the Sonics some credit, knowing what they had to do at the top of the quarter to change the tempo of the game, and they did it.
Steve, it's not a good sign when you have to burn timeouts just to maintain possession. Nick Van Exel, careless down the stretch here. He has been the guy who has carried this team offensively of late. Coming off a game where he had 30 points, 8 3-pointers up in Denver as they routed the Nuggets, but it just hasn't been there for Nick today. Give Gary Payton a lot of credit defensively.
The only option left to the Lakers now to stop the clock is to foul, and Seattle has been very efficient at the free throw line, having hit 18 out of 20.
And you know who's going to handle the ball. It's going to be Detlef Schrempf and Gary Payton and Hersey Hawkins, who are all fabulous free throw shooters. The other guys will just run and hide, probably stand out of bounds.
You look at the score set, 58 seconds left, but you go back and you start with the first quarter, a very even first quarter, and then suddenly the Lakers couldn't score. Third quarter, Sonics couldn't score, and it has been non-scoring for the Lakers against a very balanced attack down the stretch that's made the difference.
Well, what a huge day for Seattle to come in here without Shawn Kemp, the guy that makes it happen underneath for them. They come in against a Laker team that's playing great basketball, really surging, blowing teams out, high-scoring team. They keep the tempo to Seattle's favor. Detlef Schrempf comes up huge, and now you got, what, back-to-back wins over Houston and L.A. They're 2 rivals along with Utah in the conference. Seattle has not lost since before the All-Star break.
58 seconds remaining in regulation. Sonics 98, the Lakers 91. Another fine statement, as you say, because the Sonics want to show themselves well against teams like the Lakers, the Utah Jazz, the Houston Rockets. Travis Knight to Kobe Bryant, who gets inside, puts it off too hard, hits the deck, rebound off to the Sonics.
Well, Kobe told us, I want to get in there and throw some elbows, have some elbows hit me. He got a little taste right there, and they have to stop the play with a foul, Kobe Bryant or Eddie Jones.
And you're putting one of the league's all-time great free throw shooters in Hersey Hawkins at the line with already a 7-point lead.
But we will say this, as we look at the Lakers and the future, and both of these guys almost have the same build, Kobe Bryant, Eddie Jones, they are going to be explosive, talented players the teams are going to have a tough time dealing with.
Hawkins misses the first.
But the big 3, it was the difference. He came up with the shot. He only had 1 point in the second half of play, but that 3 gave him the 7-point advantage and sent everybody scurrying to the seats. He gets the second free throw.
I like the poise of Gary Payton today, who had a donut in the first half, just 2 points, and for a high-scoring guy like Gary, that is nothing. Comes out huge in the second half. Great leadership, discipline, patience. The poise of a champion, Gary Payton.
Under a half minute to play now. And the Sonics just taking time off the clock.
Del Harris is saying, hey, it's over, so don't even worry about fouling them and let them run the clock out. They've got to shoot it, and we'll get one more. Hersey Hawkins.
Hersey Hawkins hits another one. It's 102-91. Lakers' 3-game winning streak will come to an end. And here at home, they will go to 21-5 on the season.
And the Lakers have some serious wounds they have to go home and lick today because they were hammered by a better Seattle team.
Detlef Schrempf ties his season high with 34 points. Gary Payton with a terrific second half after just 2 points in the first. Schrempf and Payton having led the way for the Sonics, and they are with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Greg. Gary Payton, 19 points in the second half. What clicked? What turned it on here in the second half? And you guys played very well without Shawn Kemp today.
Well, I think what we did was we went in the locker room and we knew that we was doing a lot of good things, but shots wasn't dropping. I think we had to be a little bit more aggressive and rebound the ball, and that's what we did. We rebounded the ball, and then we picked our shots and we made them.
Congratulations, great game today. Detlef Schrempf, 34 points today. Detlef, you had an awesome game today. How much did you guys miss Shawn Kemp, and what about playing without having to play against Shaq and Ori there?
Well, we miss Shawn a whole lot. You know, he's probably the biggest part of our offense, and but we felt, you know, they miss Shaq, we miss Shawn, when just some other guys got to step it up and do the job.
You guys have been playing great, 14 out of 18. Congratulations, Detlef. Let's send it back now to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, so Seattle now a game and a half back of the Lakers in the Pacific. Once again, our final score, Seattle 102 and the Lakers 91. Stay tuned. The second half of our NBA on NBC doubleheader coming your way. Penny Hardaway and the Orlando Magic take on Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls.